Alright guys, this morning we're going to do a ride-along video and talk about some things and about being old. We talked an old one other time, but this one we're going to talk about what it's like to grow up. Well, I was born in 1953, and so, you know, the early 50s, I didn't have as much going on. I was too young to remember a lot. I think about 2 years old, I could have some remembrance of things going on about 2 years old. So, but probably most of this will be towards the late 50s. That's when I started wanting things. As a kid, you always want stuff, you know. And we wasn't from a very well-to-do family, so it was hard to get stuff. But believe it or not, one of the things I wanted really a whole bunch was a bicycle. And here I am at 71 and I'm still riding bicycles. Got a lot of wind going. I hope it doesn't pick up in the camera. We got a wind muff here, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I was kind of, probably, I'm gonna say maybe 7 or 8 years old. I was really wanting a bicycle. And so, you know, as a kid, you'll find all kinds of different ways to get what you want, especially when, you know, a young kid, like 7, 8 years old, you don't have much money. In fact, you don't have any money. At least in the 50s you didn't. And so, you know, I had some friends that had some bicycles, and I would ride theirs now and then. And I loved it, you know. I was like, man, I got to get myself a bicycle. I want one of my own. I think there was one a friend of mine had, and he was selling it for $5. $5, you know. And of course, I didn't have $5. And so I went to mom and dad, you know, and said, hey, I want a bicycle. I know one, I used one, and friends got it, and it's only $5. It's like, could you guys get that for me? You know, I was all excited. I'd really like to have that. Well, we don't got no $5. You know, we can't. And I thought a lot of different ways. And back then, if you even did a chore, you know, it was 25 cents, maybe 50 cents if you was lucky. Well, it takes a while to get up to $5 at 50 cents and 25 cents, and it just takes a while to do that. So I never did get it. You know, it's like, as bad as I wanted it, I didn't get my $5 bicycle. And I was trying to even think about at what point did I actually get bicycle, but they're done some work right here. I was going to show you here. And I think it's like a video line for internets and stuff, I think. I'm not sure. But anyways, back to the $5 bicycle, which I never got. And so I'm sure my mom and dad heard all the time, I want a bicycle, I want a bicycle, I want a bicycle. And actually my brother wanted a bicycle too. So it wasn't just me that wanted bicycles. It's, you know, boys generally wanted a bicycle. My sister didn't really care so much. She was happy with other stuff, doll babies and things like that. You know, we lived in a little house my dad had built originally when I was very young. And my grandparents lived like, it couldn't have been much over a quarter of a mile down the road there. So we were down with grandparents a lot, you know, as much as we could, off and on. So that's kind of the way it went back in the earlier, I'm gonna say mid to late 50s, you know. So I don't know what year it was that I finally was able to get a bicycle for Christmas one year. That was probably, as a young child, that was probably one of the biggest things there was. it's getting, show you a little bit of the side. We're on the bike trail right beside International Speedway Boulevard, Route 92. So I just kind of flipped the camera that way a little bit. But yeah, that was, finally the Christmas came. I know we had was no longer living in the little house my dad built. We was having trouble able to keep it. In fact, my dad actually lost that house, even though he built it. And we moved to a place, he had a friend that had a old milk factory. Now, I don't know if any of you guys ever lived in a milk factory, but this was a big, scary building. It was, it had a, we lived upstairs. Sorry for getting a lot of traffic from the road noise. Let me try to get going a little faster. Maybe we can get through this area. But as growing up in there, it was kind of scary, but kind of fun. You know, living in an old milk house, and we had a cook stove. That's how we heated and cooked with. I can't really remember the year anymore, but it was definitely probably, I'm guessing in the late 50s. It might have even been early 60s, around 60. I'm not sure anymore. You know how it goes when you get old. You can't remember. But at one point, the bicycle came in. Christmas came, and somehow my parents found the money. I got a bicycle, my brother got a bicycle, and my sister wanted a typewriter. She got a typewriter that year. That was a pretty big Christmas for us. You know, we got that, and man, I tell you, I loved my bicycle. I think it was a 24-inch, I believe. No speeds or nothing, just straight up bicycle. And wasn't a lot of traffic out here this morning. I'm surprised. This is on a Thursday. Some days traffic's high, some days it's not. I'll wait to give this guy a break to go across. So yeah, I mean, I rode my bicycle every day. I went anywhere I could possibly go. I'm going to show you, this is the highway patrol on this side. So I rode it, and I rode it, and I rode it, and I had it a very long time. We called it the milk factory. We lived in the milk factory for a number of years, and finally at one point we rented a place on the farm, the farmhouse, and that's where I got growing up on the farm. And I know I was in maybe 4th, possibly 5th grade at that point, and moved down outside of a town called Shreve, which I lived there many years. Great little town, all Amish town. But continue, I would ride my bicycle to school sometimes, because it was so far out in the country. We were the first one on the bus and the last one off. And I could actually ride my bicycle to school and beat the bus. You know, same way coming home. I mean, we had things to do. We did farm chores. Part of our rent back then was working the farm. You know, doing chores around the farm. And that's how I really got a lot of my farm experience. You know, we did chores, we milked cows, we did everything you can do on a farm. I drove the tractor, plowed, planted, all that. Baled hay, all that was a lot of work, baling hay. But I continued to have that bicycle for a long time after that. And here I am. I'm 71 years old now. And as most of you know that keep up with my channel, I have an e-bikes. I got several. In fact, I've got 8 e-bikes. So I'm still riding bicycles. It was I just love riding a bike. So I'm on one right now. I'm on an e-bike. Thought we'd do a little talk video. Now and then I'll do one of those and have a subject going on. But I know there's a few of you out here, and my subscribers, that actually are my age or close to it. Maybe not quite as old as me. I'm pretty old. And so you might relate with some of the early things in the growing up in the 50s and the 60s. Things were completely different. Oh, there's a pretty blue jay. I don't know if my camera caught it or not. It's up here in that tree. And so, you know, I kind of thought I'd bring that up a little bit. As you know, once in a while you think way back as getting really, really old, and you can start remembering, and then you sit thinking, you go, gosh, was it that long ago? I want to show you this duck. Let's see if we can get a little picture. Look at these ducks. A duck by the pond. Hello, duck. They're not good looking ducks. They got a really odd looking face, kind of rough, and a big bill coming out on them. There's tons of ducks around this. MR a duck. Oh, there's a bug chasing him. I'm not sure what kind of bug that was. A duck with a bug. Wow. Now let's move on. But yeah, there's a lot of ducks around here. So did any of you guys have something when you were young you really wanted bad and had to struggle to get it? And actually, in your older ages now, that you're still using that type of thing. Maybe not the same one, but you know, like bicycles. You know, so I still love to ride bicycles. A lot of pretty birds out this morning. Just seeing them all over the place. And it was things better back then. I'd go back in a second to what things are like today, even though all the techie stuff, which I'm very techie, I love gadgets and stuff, technology. I really do love that part of living in this time in history. I guess that's how you'd call it, time in history. So, but yeah, it's just changed so much. But yeah, I would go back. Let's get on to point the camera straight ahead here. A neat pond. Guys over there are gonna mow yard. There's a real cool pond over here. Let's see the guys that are getting ready. That's the city of DeLand. And their workers are gonna mow some yard, keep it looking nice. DeLand's a nice little town, I'll tell you. You won't ask for much better. But yeah, there's a pond over here in left. I remember our pond living on our farm. There was a little farm pond. We used to go over there. I'll fish a lot, bass. My gosh, there was all kinds of bass and bluegill. Used to fish in there all the time, and it would catch quite a bit of bass. I mean, I'd keep something in the freezer all the time for Mom, you know. Bring home some bass and that. All right, guys. Well, I thought I would do a little writing and talking video and talk a little bit about in the younger years and what it was like. Maybe we'll do a few more of these. I'm gonna go up that way. I don't know if you can see it now. There's a F-14 jet sitting up there. We've talked that and done a video on that before. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next time. If you're not a subscriber, I invite you to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share it with your friends, all that good stuff that you do to help the channel grow, because it helps us. You know, I've been doing the channel for a long time. We got a lot of videos, and I struggle to find new ones to put up. So this happened to be today's video. All right, guys, God bless you. See you the next time.